Hello and welcome back. This is Metal Rocker 86, here again with another review. I'm hearing some cougars out there. I guess that can only mean one thing. It's time to review an album from John Cougar Mellencamp. So why don't we look at his commercial breakthrough, American Fool. Now, John Mellencamp, also known as John Cougar, Johnny Cougar, or John Cougar Mellencamp, is an American musician, singer and songwriter, actor, director, and painter who comes from Indiana and started out in 1974. Early on, his manager did not like the name Mellencamp, claiming it would be too hard to market, so they had to go with a different name. While he was in New York City with a producer, he told him how everyone told him he sounded like a hillbilly, and that's how the name Cougar came to be. John Mellencamp did not find out about the name until the album was released. He didn't have the success initially, but he really broke out in the 80s. His genres include rock, heartland rock, hard rock, roots rock, country rock, and folk rock. He has released 23 studio albums to date, American Fool being one of them. On to the album. American Fool is John Mellencamp's 5th studio album, and it was released under the name John Cougar. Originally, it consisted of 9 songs, but in 2005, when it was re-released, a bonus 10th song was added, making it around 38 minutes long. It ranked as high as 1st on Billboard 200, and the Kent Music Report in Australia ranked it at 18th. On lead vocals, guitar, and tambourine is John Mellencamp. On guitar and backing vocals, we have Larry Crane, Mike Wanchich, and Mick Ronson. On drums and Lindrum is Kenny Aronoff. On bass, we have George Perry and Robert Frank, who also helped out with background vocals. On keyboards, we have Eric Rosser, and finally on backing vocals, we have Dave Parman. Now on to the songs, all of which were written by John Mellencamp except where stated otherwise. This first song was also released as a single and written by John Mellencamp and George M. Green, and it hurts so good. The tempo is moderately fast-paced. Instrumentation. It starts off with a drum intro for about 3 seconds, then the guitars come in loud and clear. They get a bit quieter in the verse, but they come back strong in the chorus. The song was inspired when John Mellencamp was playing in bands and he noticed how crude people were to each other. His friend, George M. Green, who helped write this song, was the one who suggested the name. I should probably not describe the lyrics in this day and age, but it's a great song on the album. The tempo from the last one continues into this song, and it was also released as a single. It's called Jack and Diane. Instrumentation. It starts off with some hard electric guitar with some background percussions. Then they switch to some acoustic guitar for the verse and chorus, and then they play the intro again. During the bridge, the guitars disappear for a bit and all you can hear are the percussions. The song describes a high school couple whose best days will soon be coming to an end. This was another great track on the album. The tempo from the last 2 continue into this one, and it was also released as a single. It's called Hand to Hold On To. Instrumentation. It starts out with some catchy guitars and background drums. The guitars get a little quieter during the verse, with some spurts of energy here and there. Some energy returns in the chorus before making a triumphant return in the solo. From my angle, the song describes how everyone needs someone else in their life so they don't feel alone. This was another great song on the album. Now things slow down as we get to Danger List, which was written by John Mellencamp and Larry Crane. Instrumentation. The intro has some cool riffs in it. Then in the verse, things get very quiet with the guitar and background drums, and the energy picks up in the chorus. The song originated when Larry Crane was practicing his guitar. John Mellencamp then recorded it and sang a few verses he made up on the spot, then got rid of the ones he didn't like. This was a cool song on the album. The tempo speeds up in this next one. Can you take it? Instrumentation. It starts off with an energizing guitar and keyboard intro. Then in the verse, it goes quiet except for some drums and some guitar strums here and there. However, the guitars come back hard for the chorus. From what I can see, the song is about a young couple hooking up, and that's probably all I should describe in this day and age, but it's a great song on the album. John Mellencamp and George M. Green wrote this next one. It's called Thundering Hearts. Instrumentation. The main focus is on the guitars in this one with the rock and riffs that'll get your head banging. You can also hear the drums in the background. From my interpretation, the song is about a guy and his girlfriend from Kentucky riding their motorcycle into the night. This was another great song on the album. This next one is called China Girl, and it was written by Joe New and Jeff Silbar. The tempo slows down a little here. Instrumentation. It starts off with a cool guitar intro. Then the guitars and drums are equal for the verse, and the guitars steal the show in the chorus. From what I can see, the song is about a guy who has a crush on an Asian woman. This was an okay song on the album. Now the tempo speeds up, and there's some great energy in Close Enough. Instrumentation. It starts off with an 8-second percussion intro, then the guitars come in hard for a bit. In the verse, the guitars get a bit softer, and then the energy returns in the chorus. The second last chorus, however, just has percussions, but the guitars return strong in the final chorus before ending on a solo. From my interpretation, the song is about a guy who goes down the wrong path, tries to clean up his life, but then goes down the wrong path again. This was another good song on the album. Now, the tempo really slows down as we get to Weakest Moments. Instrumentation. The main focus is on the very soothing acoustic guitars with some background percussion. The lyrics, from what I can see, describe a couple, where the guy promises to be with her no matter what happens. This was a good song on the album, an okay song to end the album with originally. Now, we get to the final song on the album, and it was originally the unreleased title song until it was released as a bonus track in 2005. The tempo is moderately fast-paced. Instrumentation. It starts off with a catchy guitar intro with some background drums. The guitars get a bit quieter in the verse, but they return in full swing for the pre-chorus and chorus. The lyrics describe someone who was brought up to be what most people would not want him to be. This was a great song on the album and the perfect song to end the album with. So what did I like about this album? I really enjoyed this album for the most part. The songs were all very well written, the instrumentation sounded great, and John Mellencamp did a great job on the vocals. The only two things I would have changed on this album are 1, it was too front-loaded with all the better songs at the start, and 2, I would have released American Fool on the original release. To conclude this, I will say that despite the drawbacks, American Fool is definitely worth listening to and I know you will enjoy it. Well, that's the end of this review. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up down below and don't forget to subscribe and share. Until next time, rock on!